Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final of the Crockett Cup 2026. We have some amazing matches lined up for you tonight, and running through a few of them, we will see EC3 and Trevor Murdoch take on the NWA World Tag Team Champions in Bojack and Marsh Rockett in a street fight. Bojack and Rockett have been thorns in the side of EC3, but now he's recruited Trevor Murdoch to try and take the NWA World Tag Team Championships away from them. We will also see the final of the Crockett Cup as the wildcard team of Alec Price and Starboy Charlie take on the makeshift team of Mike Mondo and Odinson. Can an injured Mike Mondo carry his way to the Crockett Cup, or will the new wildcard team be far too much for Mondo and Odinson? And then in our main event, we will see a four-way match for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Will Chris Brooks defy the odds and win the NWA World Heavyweight Championship? Will Nakamura cement his legacy as one of the best wrestlers ever to grace a ring? Will Ortiz prove his worth here in the NWA? Or will Bishop Dyer's reign continue? We'll find out this and more tonight at the NWA Crockett Cup Final. So the pre-show starts with what can only be described as not a great match here, as Eel O'Neill defeated Leroy Green. Again, they didn't work well, they're both rusty. Eel O'Neill then gets injured, equals out to a 17 rated match. I don't think these two are going to be back anytime soon. We move on to our second pre-show match as the team of Sonico and Dylan McKay defeat Rolando Perez and Kit Osborne in just over 8 minutes after Dylan McKay pins Kit Osborne. Again, decent 43 rated match, far better than the last one. Kit Osborne is rusty, but still gets a 31, which is actually better than Rolando Perez. But decent 43 rated, but we now move to our final pre-show match in a good 47 rated match. The Southern Six defeat the Diamonds in the Rough. Again, two well-established teams here in the NWA, both former NWA World Tag Team Champions. The Southern Six being the current NWA United States Tag Team Champions, but the belts aren't on the line right now. But a good match here to end the pre-show. We kick off the main show with a good 55 rated match as TJP defeats Max Caster in around about 12 minutes. Again, a really good performance from TJP, getting a 65, Caster getting a 48, equals out to a 55, which is quite a strong match from these two, but a good momentum builder for TJP. We'll then move on to another 55 rated match as Keith Lee defeats Spencer Slade in just over 13 minutes with a Spirit Bomb. Again, a good momentum builder for Keith Lee. TJP also won before this. They're both building momentum, hopefully towards getting shots at the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. We then see Dozer backstage. He says that night one just wasn't his night, but he'll be back, and next time he'll make sure he wins the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. He says by the end of the year he'll be holding that belt, and there's nothing Bishop Dyer or anyone else can do to stop him. In our third match of the night, Oliver Carter makes his second defense of the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship as he defeats JT Dunn with an instant kill. If we remember back on NWA Power, JT Dunn did cause Oliver Carter to lose a tag team match along with TJP, and this did lead to this match for the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship. It is a good 54 rated match and a good defense for Oliver Carter. Then we have a 50 rated segment as Max the Impaler is backstage with Silas Mason. They say they're done with Silas Mason. He's the reason Vix walked out and is no longer here, and they demand that James Mitchell remove Silas from the Disciples of Sin. Silas doesn't say anything, but before he can, Taylor and Morton storm into the locker room and attack Max the Impaler. Silas grabs James Mitchell by the collar, and he reveals that he's been with the Southern Six the entire time. He's been a man on the inside, slowly breaking down the Disciples of Sin until there's none of them left. It's now just Max and Mitchell, and they're going to take them down for good. So Silas Mason is back in the Southern Six. He was never a part of the Disciples of Sin. He's always been a part of the Southern Six, and he fully reveals this now. We then go on to our first big match of the night, as in a street fight, EC3 and Trevor Murdoch become the new NWA World Tag Team Champions as they defeat Bojack and Marsh Rockette in a really good 52 rated match here. EC3 and Trevor Murdoch are back on top of the NWA. This is Trevor Murdoch regaining his NWA World Tag Team Championships, whereas this is EC3's first reign with the belts. But it does end the reign of Bojack and Marsh Rockette, but I'm sure they'll be back for those belts very soon. After this, we have our match for the NWA World Television Championship, as Matt Lee manages to defeat Weber Hatfield after using a lead pipe to knock Weber Hatfield out behind the referee's back. This is Matt Lee's first championship here in the NWA, as he wins the NWA World Television Championship from Weber Hatfield. So not only did he steal it from him on NWA Power, he now is the champion. We then go to the final of the Crockett Cup, as the wildcard team of Alec Price and Starboy Charlie defeat Mike Mondo and Odinson, as Alec Price pins Mike Mondo with a quick roll-up. Again, an excellent 55 rated match here and some excellent performances all round. Alec Price getting a 71, Starboy Charlie getting a 59, Odinson a 53, and Mike Mondo a 42, but still doing very well even though he is injured. So the new Crockett Cup winners this year are Alec Price and Starboy Charlie, the wildcard team that hadn't even debuted in NWA before this tournament began. We then have RVD, he's backstage. He has just watched the Crockett Cup final and he's very impressed with what he's seen. But he's got Colby Carino on the phone. He tells him to heal up, and he and the NWA fans will be waiting for him when he gets back. We then go to an excellent 70 rated match as Masha Slamovich makes her in-ring debut for the NWA as she defeats Emi Sakura in just under 12 minutes with a diving headbutt. She did officially debut last night at the Crockett Cup Night 2 as she attacked both Kenzie Page and Yuka Sakazaki, but her official in-ring debut is successful as she defeats Emi Sakura. However, after her win, Yuka Sakazaki is coming down to the ring and she wants to go face to face with Masha Slamovich. As they do go face to face in the middle of the ring, Kenzie Page comes out and hits Yuka Sakazaki from behind, sending her straight into Masha Slamovich. Kenzie goes on to the attack against both women, but they manage to turn it around and clear Kenzie from the ring. But then, as Sakazaki turns around, Masha Slamovich decks her completely, leaving her laying out in the ring. So the final scene we get is Masha Slamovich stood over Yuka Sakazaki and Kenzie Page cowering on the ramp. But now we move to our main event of the evening in an excellent 74 rated match. Bishop Dyer manages to defend his NWA World Heavyweight Championship against Chris Brooks, Ortiz, and Shinsuke Nakamura after he pins Nakamura with an end of days. Again, a really excellent match here, one of the best matches in the series. Bishop Dyer and Chris Brooks both getting 66s, Ortiz getting a 77, and Nakamura getting a 59. Chris Brooks seems off his game and yet still gets a 66. But an excellent 74 rated match. During the match we also saw Keith Lee come in and attack Ortiz, taking him out the match completely. But a huge win for Bishop Dyer. But people like Chris Brooks have proved that they belong in this main event scene. So a really excellent main event here and a really excellent show altogether. We'll go see our final rating to see where we have improved in terms of popularity and how much money we've made. Again, this show gets a 65 rating. It does increase our popularity in 38 regions. Hopefully, this does bring us up to that 40 mark in one region of America so we can get a pay-per-view deal, but we'll see as we look at popularity changes and financial reports. So we will be praising the 3 people that got over 70s in their performance tonight, being Mash Slamvich, Alec Price and Ortiz. Slamvich is pleased, Alec Price is pleased, and Ortiz is very happy. I don't think there was any... Oh, there was an injury on the show. It was Ian O'Neill. He's only up for 7 days. He's not a permanent member of the roster either, and I don't think we'll actually ever see him again. We'll look at our financial report. We made almost $50,000 on this show. Just under $48,500. Over $50,000 in ticket sales. The workers weren't that high either, but overall a really good profit made. Let's see our popularity recap. And we have finally made it to 40 popularity in more than a few regions of America, which means we can finally get on Triller TV for a pay-per-view deal. And hopefully this means we'll be able to earn the money to start then improving our production values so we're not always losing out on sort of overall points for every show. But a really good level of growth here. Hopefully this continues onwards. But we will end the show and we'll go back to the home screen. So here we are back in the home screen. Again, there's not much going on there. No, Mike Bennett is leaving AEW, so he may be someone that turns up relatively soon. But if we look at our emails, see our viewership. Again, it does confirm that Nakamura has left. He was only on a few appearances. Confirms Ian O'Neill's injury, but again, that doesn't matter to us. But we did get 70,000 views for the final of the Crockett Cup, which is obviously very good and a very good way to finish the episode. Our next episode obviously will be NWA Power as we move towards The Devil and I. Once again, it's a repeat that we have done last year and we are moving towards this once again. But again, as usual, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like, share and subscribe. Hit that bell notification button. If there's any wrestlers you want to see on the series, leave them in the comments below. And I will see you at NWA Power.